Hi, thanks so much for joining me. So today I have a mixed book haul, new books, thrifted books, and library books. I'm equally excited about all three categories. I found some really good ones this time, y'all. Okay, so I just want to make another quick announcement. I did an announcement video not long ago where I said I was starting a new channel called Reading at Dusk. Thank you to those awesome people who did subscribe to that channel. But I want to say that I am decided to pause that channel. I just wasn't as passionate about it as I thought I would be, and that's just how I am. If I go for something, I go for it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and then I kind of pause and okay. So I'm not going to be uploading videos to that channel for now. I'm just going to focus, jump back to integrating my reading and my daughter's reading like I was doing for a while. I've been having this channel almost like a little bit over a year. Air House. So I'm going back to my old format of sharing my reading here. So if you subscribe to me at Reading at Dusk, thank you. I will be just sharing my reading here. So those of you who don't want to see my reading, you're stuck with me. No, I'm kidding. But I will go back to sharing my reading here because my reading is a big part of my life and my daughter's life and our homeschool life, because I'm constantly recommending books to her. She recommends books to me, and that's just how we work. And our homeschool is very much literature based. So my adult reading, even though it is for adults, I'm the person behind this channel, and I just decided that focusing on one channel at a time is kind of what I want to do right now. And so I'm going back to my roots. Now I'm back to Air House being all about both of our reading. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy that. So I'm going back. So it's sorry if that's annoying, but yeah, I do change my mind a lot like the wind blows. So continuing on, thank you for being here, and thank you to everyone who subscribed to either channel or both. Big Tree, Brian Selznick. Okay, so I have become a new Brian Selznick fan because I finally finished Hugo. And I say finally finished because I rented it from the library like years ago, and I don't know what I was thinking. I either read it and forgot, or like I didn't finish it. I don't know what it was. I was very distracted that month. And then the Mama Librarian, I want to thank her again. She has a channel. She mentioned the book to me because I showed the movie Hugo. And I love that movie based on the book. And so I went and purchased it because I actually found it at a thrift store. So exciting. And read it. I'm going to talk about it at the end of this month because I'm going to be back to sharing my own reading with you guys. Yeah. So then I realized he had a new book. So this is told from the perspective of sycamore seeds. And I guess I'm assuming they become trees, or they will become trees. So I thought this was very interesting, told from the perspective of the trees. I'm going into this book without knowing anything about it, other than, of course, you're dealing with the talent of Brian Selznick, who his books are very much illustration heavy, which I love. And so just like Hugo, yeah, I could have reserved it for my library, but I was like, you know what, I just want to own it. Like his books, after I read, I'll talk about that at the end of the month with Hugo, but I'm so excited to try it. Okay, that's one of my new books. And then another one of the new things is for homeschool. It is a blank comic book, draw your own comic book, blank set. Okay, what I love about this one, I'll link everything also in the description, is it lets you create your own cover. So it's totally blank. Some of them have just like kind of weird covers, and you have to use their own cover. Well, my daughter really likes to pretend. My daughter already wants to publish books. So it was I think she really would like this concept. Now, this is my second one that I purchased. It's the exact same one. I think it's by Peter Popper Press. Yeah, Peter Popper Press. And so yeah, and it also has these little speech bubbles, which I don't think my daughter uses very much, because I think she treats it kind of more like a graphic novel, but not that you can't have those. Of course, in a graphic novel, you can, absolutely. But yeah, so I got this because I'm going to talk about this in a future video about our language arts resources, but I got this for language arts. Okay, so now this is my other new book. Look how cute and small. Okay, I'm constantly reading like reviews of books online and looking for new books. This book, I read what it was about. I literally dropped what I was doing and I went online to search for it. I wanted to see if I could find it used or find it like at Book Outlet or something like that. And I was already placing an order on Amazon, so I was like, I'm just gonna get it on Amazon. Yeah, and so it's The Woman in the Purple Skirt, Natsuko, last name Imamura. That is the author, and it is a Japanese novel, and then it's translated, of course, into English. And so let me read you guys the synopsis. You might think, okay, let me tell you what intrigued me. Almost every afternoon, the woman in the purple skirt sits on the same park bench, where she eats a cream bun while the local children make a game of trying to get her attention. Unbeknownst to her, she is being watched by the woman in the yellow cardigan, who is always perched just out of sight, monitoring which buses she takes, what she eats, and whom she speaks to. The woman in the yellow cardigan lures the woman in the purple skirt to a job as a housekeeper at a hotel, where she too is a housekeeper. Soon the woman in the purple skirt is having an affair with the boss and all eyes are on her. But no one knows or cares about the woman in the yellow cardigan. That's the difference between her and the woman in the purple skirt. Oh my gosh. I don't think they're probably going to even be named. I love that. It reminds me of Rebecca. Obviously, way different tone, way different vibe. But like Rebecca, you don't ever know the name of the protagonist. I mean, like her husband's last name and her name is her husband's last name, but you don't ever know her first name. Total different vibe, but I don't know why. I just love this concept. So hopefully I will love it. It's very short. It's only 210-ish pages. I'd never heard of this author, and I'm very excited. So yes, I can't wait. It just intrigued me. Okay, so now I have to whisper. This book is gonna be a Christmas present. Yes, I shop early. Okay, so I shop early for Christmas, and one thing I'm going to do for Christmas this year, which I've been wanting to do for years, is make a book advent. I see people do these online, and I just never did it. Okay, so I don't want to go too crazy. I'm not gonna do like 25 or 24 books. Some you can, but my daughter has so many books already so I'm just gonna do the 12 Days of Christmas. This is one of the books that I got her. It's The Marvelers by Dhonielle Clayton. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, you know that. Okay, so this is book 1. It's a series, of course. Okay, so this book, just the cover alone. This book I found at a thrift store. It's like brand new. Look at that. I got it at Savers thrift store, and it's like perfect condition. It's a really nice hardcover. I believe it's like it's newly printed too. Okay, so this book was on my Amazon wish list of books for her. I get so excited when I find those books at thrift stores. Okay, 11-year-old Ella Duran is the first conjurer to attend some of these middle grade books, they with the world building, I am not good at saying all these words. Okay, she's going to attend the Training Institute, a magic school in the clouds where marvelers from around the world practice their cultural arts, like brewing Indian spice elixirs and bartering with pesky Irish pixies. Despite her excitement, Ella discovers that being the first isn't easy. Some marvelers mistrust her magic, which they deem bad and unnatural. So it deals with magic and, very much, I said fantasy. I'm not sure if it's like magic or fantasy or if that mingles together, but it's just very much something I think she'll like. And since it's in such good condition, I really think that this would be a really good Advent book. So I'm going to put it aside for her Advent. Okay, now, for me, I got 3, let's see, 1, 2, was it 3? I thought it was 3, maybe 2, only 2. So I got 2 books by Toni Morrison. Okay, so I already read The Bluest Eye, but I was so happy to find a copy of it because I read it from the library. So I'm just adding this from my library. This is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I love this book. I think I've talked about it before, but I love her writing is just phenomenal. Like, oh my gosh, she's definitely one of my favorite modern classic writers. And this book deals with like racism and growing up like the unfair beauty standards and idolizing, wanting to look different than what you are, and then just poverty, and just it's very deep. It's very deep. It's just beautiful. And I want to reread it. So this is Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. This one, oh sorry, and I also say like I got these also at Savers. So this one is just on my list of books, modern classics to try. Beloved is also on my TBR. I own it, and this is like one of the same. What do you call it? The cover's very the same one as Beloved, but this is Song of Solomon. So this one I actually didn't really know that much about. I just know that it was by her. And it's like, milkman dead was born shortly after a neighborhood eccentric hurled himself off a rooftop in a vain attempt at flight. For the rest of his life, too, will be trying to fly. With this brilliantly imagined novel, Toni Morrison, transfigures the coming-of-age story, follows Milkman from his Rust Belt city to the place of his family's origins. Okay, so it doesn't say too much what it's about, but it's just like a modern classic, and I really love her writing. It's beautiful. So now I have 3 middle grade books that I got from the thrift stores. This is Sweep, the story of a girl and her monster. This one's on so many lists of good, great middle grade or highly recommended middle grade, and it's just one that I thought my daughter and I could try. It's been 5 years since the Sweep disappeared. Orphaned and alone, Nan Sparrow had no other choice but to work for a ruthless chimney sweep. She spends her days sweeping out chimneys. The job is dangerous and thankless, but with her wits and will, Nan has managed to beat the deadly odds time and time again. When Nan gets stuck in a chimney fire, she fears the end has come. Instead, she wakes to find herself unharmed in an abandoned attic. So it sounds really interesting. And then this, of course, is a book I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. This is Neil Gaiman, Coraline. So I don't believe in weird things I forgot what it's called, but when you think of something and it manifests, or I don't know if it's the law of attraction, but this is weird that for the almost every time I go to the thrift store, I picture this book and then I find it, and it's not because it's so popular or anything like that, because so my daughter and I were literally talking about Coraline, that I told her I wanted to read it and she said she wanted to read it. And we went to Savers, and there it was. And it's just, I'm not saying that's something that's totally weird, but Savers doesn't have a ton of books. It's not like a bookstore, it's a thrift store. So it's not if I went to Half Price Books, of course I would find Coraline. But anyway, I find those coincidences kind of cool. And we're wow, there it is. So it's kind of a beat up copy, but I don't care. So both of us want to read it. We both saw the movie, but we haven't read it. And normally I'm scared of books like this because the movie I found, I don't know, I wasn't really scared or anything, but I, of course, look at the image, the illustrations, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. I don't usually like reading stuff that's spooky, but it's smidge spooky. So I think I want to read it in October, and she wants to read it too. So yeah, we're excited. And this is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I said this was middle grade. T.J. Klune. Let me see. Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company. But his quiet life is about to change. He's summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. Okay, so it is children's literature. I was right. Okay, I was doubting myself for some reason, but I believe it is middle grade. So the secret about this book, it's not really a secret, but I tried this book before from the library, and I honestly passed on it. I DNF'd it. I did not finish it, but I keep reading about it. And that happened to me with a gentleman in Moscow. I put it aside to get rid of it, and then I ended up thinking about it and going back to it. But this was different. I really just probably tried the first chapter. And so I'm rambling again, but so A Gentleman in Moscow is one of my favorite books of all time. So sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes my instincts are wrong. And I want to try this book again. So I will be trying it again because everyone says, a lot of people love it, love it, love it. And I love books about orphans. I think I'm already rambling too much. Okay. This book I found, my library is awesome because they have a used bookstore. Paperbacks are $1 and hardbacks are $2. And they always have like specials and free books for kids and all this stuff. But so this was Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. And it doesn't have a dust jacket, and usually that aggravates me because I don't know what it is. I'm weird. But it didn't bother me because it's such a nice edition. It's illustrated. Maybe they're all illustrated. I think we have a paperback of this. But if you know me, you know I have aging eyes. No, I just got some new reading glasses, but I don't know. I just don't like to wear glasses. Like, I'm stubborn. So I prefer, if I can find a hardback for $2, like, I'll buy it because, or, you know, even more. But the fact that I found this for $2, even though I think we have a paperback of it, which we both haven't read, by the way, my daughter and I think it's on her list for 5th grade. But anyway, I love how the font, look how big it is. Like, it'd be easy for me to read with or without glasses. And, yeah, tiny paperbacks are just, they give me a headache. Even with my glasses, I'm just at that age. So, I don't know much about Robinson Crusoe other than it's a classic. And it's on my list of classics to try. So I'm just going to check it out. Okay, now the library books. Oh, yeah, one more thing, a DVD, and then I got some library books I'm really excited about. Okay, so this is a DVD. This is just another one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm rebuilding my DVD collection. I heard someone say the other day, does anybody buy DVDs anymore? And I thought that years ago because I switched my collection over to digital. And then I started, when we moved out of state one time, but then I had all these problems with my digital transfers. And I literally am not able to watch none of my movies. I can on my computer, but it's just a long story. So I'm like, I'm one of those people. I'm a 90s girl born in the 80s. I'm like a millennial. I'm an old millennial. I'm like a DVD person again. So I'm rebuilding my DVD collection. So I was happy to find Clueless at Savers, I believe. And it was like $3. Love it. And yeah, I just do. Okay. So now the library books. I've been waiting and anticipating this book for a while. I believe The Skull by John Klassen. Let's see. When did it come out? I think it just came out. Yeah, copyright 2023. So I immediately reserved this book for my library. Oh, they actually bought it. I was impressed. And because I have a very small library. So they bought it. I was just like shocked. I saw it and I hurried up and reserved it. I waited and I finally got it and I already read it. Now, even though this is a book haul, it's not typically a book I will share at the end of my, reading month because it's not like a novel. So I just wanted to share it now. That is really awesome. It's a pretty short book. It's like 105-ish pages, but the font is really large, for young readers. So it is about a little girl, Ottila, who runs away, finds a house in the woods with a skull. And this would be the perfect book to read for Halloween. But I knew that this library, I'm not going to find it in October. There's no way. I'll probably have to buy it, but that's okay. I wanted to just go ahead and rent it. I highly recommend this book. And I don't want to say too much about it because it's just like go into it, just reading it. All you need to know is about a girl and a skull. And it's not scary or anything like that. It's actually based on a folk tale. And the author's note, John Klassen, talks about in the end how he changed it. And the process of that was so interesting to read about how he changed it and why he changed it and like just storytelling in general and retelling. And it was fascinating. And of course, it's like the same brilliant illustrations that John Klassen, is known for doing. There's also like some stuff in it where you don't really know everything about, I guess, like, I don't know if you say like plot holes or whatever. I had some questions because I'm just a very curious person about, like, I'm not going to say it because it's going to give it away. I really wish, like, you were here in person, the person watching this video, and we could chat about it. Because I would say, but it's a kid's book, and it's just like, I went with it, and I love it. And I highly recommend it. It's just awesome. The Skull by John Klassen. Okay. So, now I have a wordless picture book called Bunny and Tree. This book, when I reserved it from the library, I thought it was going to be like teeny tiny or like 30. It's like a good size. It's not even numbered, but you can tell it's probably way over 100 pages. All I knew was it's a gorgeous wordless adventure story about rabbit and a tree and their surprising friendship and the distance they go to find a place to call home. It doesn't even have words on the cover. I really liked the author's dedication to doing it like that. I thought it was very interesting. It only has, the title on the side. And I'm going to say this. I also went ahead and read this one before the video because I'm going to have to return it to the library before my end of the month review. And it's like a picture book-ish type. So I wasn't blown away by it. I think maybe, I don't know how to explain it. I do like wordless picture books even as an adult. And I think they're really great for kids. I think this would be like a really, really, really great book for what the age it's intended for, which is like a younger child. But for me as an adult, it wasn't because it was wordless that I didn't connect to it. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I like the concept of it, but I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm glad I read it, but it's not like a book I would probably check out again or purchase, but I think someone else might adore it. That's why I want to share it. But the illustrations are beautiful, and it's totally wordless, which I love. I love the showing of the emotion. Maybe I need to reread it and give it more. But I'm sharing it because I love it. I even do that for hauls, not with novels because I can't pre-read them. But I only like to share books that I think other people will like, period, end of story, because that's just how I am. This is the Book of Gold, and this is a picture book. So basically I love the concept of this book. I wasn't as engaged with illustrations like maybe somebody else might be though. I really love how it's a book that supposedly, so this little boy is told about this book that holds all the answers to every question ever asked, and when it is open it turns to solid gold. Could Isaac be the one to find it? Okay, so I think this book would be awesome for, like, say, someone to share with a reluctant reader, or like a teacher to share with like a classroom of children learning to read for the first time, because it's all about promoting reading and promoting gaining knowledge. And then there's this thing about this boy is kind of being motivated to read because he thinks that one day he'll open a book that will turn to gold and he'll become rich. So I love that kind of almost like storytelling, kind of like fable, or like kind of, like, I don't know, like a moral tale or whatever. But then again, it's like his parents are trying to get him to love reading and he just isn't into it. But then someone tells him about the fact that a book could turn into gold. And while, of course, he's searching for that book that could turn into gold, what does he discover? He discovers his love for reading and knowledge. So I love that. So yeah. And then also, I like the bits about the library, like his parents take him to the library, and then he learns about like the famous library, I believe, in New York City, with the lions, and then the New York Public Library, one of them, and then he learns about the library and things like that. And then the end is really nice. I don't want to spoil too much. It's a short book, but it's really nice. Like I said, yeah, okay. So now to children's. Okay, so I think this is a chapter book, and yes, as you guys know, I like chapter books, even for me. So this is Freya and Zeus by Emily Butler. Okay, this is just like, I'm always looking for like a cute little chapter book that I can just like go through real quick. That's sweet. Like the Heartwood Hotel. I love the Heartwood Hotel, but this is nothing like it, but it's kind of cute. It's these two animals, and they hide inside a hot air balloon. And I don't know exactly why they're hiding in the hot air balloon, but one of the animals wants to get to another location, and I'm just kind of keeping it. But yes, it's like supposedly like the adventure between with these two animals. Okay, so the expeditions to the North Pole. So these animals are traveling together in this balloon, and they don't know each other because like one of them they both hid in the bottom section of the hot air balloon, and then so they're kind of stuck on the air balloon together traveling. So I don't know, it just sounds like it could be a cute story. The writing's very, very, very young. Obviously it's supposed to be, because it's a chapter book, but Harwood Hotel, even though it was like written for very, very young kids, it still kept my attention. So this one, I read one chapter. I don't know if it's going to quite keep my attention further, but I thought it'd be a cute book to share and to try, about an adventure story between these two animals. So, okay, and then this one I'm really excited about. This one is The Wonderling by Mira Bartok, B-A-R-T-O-K. Okay. So this one, look at the cover. The cover is just beautiful. The cover, it almost looks like a classic. And already I'm interested because it's about, first of all, it has really pretty illustrations. It has, it looks like that black and white, like almost sepia tone illustration. Okay, let me get to what it's about. It is about, there's a home for wayward and misgotten creatures run by evil Miss Carbuncle, a villainess with a cold heart, and who leaves her terrified youth. Charges exist only to serve and suffer. So it's like an orphanage for these like animals, but I think some of them are like hybrid animals or something. Yeah. Part animal, part human. The poor young groundlings in the orphanage toil in classroom and factory, forbidden to enjoy anything regular children do, but most particularly singing and music. For the Wonderling, an innocent one-eared fox-like 11-year-old with no proper name but only the number 13. The home is the only one he has ever known. But when unexpected courage leads him to protect a young bird, groundling, Trinket, from being bullied, she in return gives the home's loneliest inhabitant two incredible gifts: a real name and a best friend. So I did try. Sorry if you hear that noise in my background. That's my daughter building with magnet tiles, and they're falling everywhere. And so sorry if you hear it, but I don't want to interrupt her play. Okay, so pretty. So I went ahead and read the first chapter, and I liked it. I like it. I think it's even though it's like a middle grade book or a young middle grade, it's still capturing my interest, and I think the writing's really good so far. So I am going to try it. Okay, you guys, so that is it for this haul. Thanks so much for watching, subscribing, and liking. I truly appreciate it. Take care.